If we've been your job search besties and helped you in some way, there's a cool way you can support the show. Shout us a virtual coffee.
As an independent podcast, we couldn't do what we do without your support. Head to buymeacoffee.com/interviewboss.
If you keep us caffeinated, we'll keep the content coming.
I think it just goes to show, sometimes your wish can come true.
And present a whole new host of challenges, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Interview Boss. My name is Emma. I'm a radio journalist who's teamed up with my sister to give you advice, inspiration, and support when you're looking for a new job. Sarah is a HR and recruitment professional, and together we're excited to give you all the tips, tricks, and behind-the-scenes knowledge to help you in your career.
Hey, Em, and welcome back, everyone. We are always telling you to shoot your shot. So at the beginning of every episode, we tell you about a listener who's done exactly that. This week, we're shooting out Eibhan.
They said, "Hi Sarah and Emma, I hope this message gets to you. I just wanted to thank you guys for honestly being exactly what I needed when preparing for a job interview. Some background, I'm about to finish my final year of university and the graduate job market over here is super competitive. I could spend hours talking about the amount of jobs I've applied for and not heard back from, or applied and things didn't work out. But I finally found a job that I honestly loved, like my dream role. It's essentially a tech consultant role which combines my two greatest interests, coding and working with people. Once I realised I actually had a shot, even after seeing that this job was super competitive, I was recommended your podcast by my brother. Shout out to you, Joey, love you. Listening to your podcast, I felt like one of the girls despite being a tall, large man. Anyway, in short, I grew so much in confidence and built trust in myself, came into the interview in the right way."
That's my favourite part.
I am, in fact, a large, tall man. I can't cover the amount of tips that helped me, but my favourite was from the podcast episode about using your notebook. The final interview went really great and I came out of it feeling like I smashed it. The interesting thing is that about 2 weeks later, I got an email saying they have an update they would love to share with me. My heart dropped when they then told me I was a perfect silver medalist. They went with another candidate, but essentially proposed something else for me. They really loved who I was and my story and decided to kind of create a new role for me, which is pretty much identical to the one I applied for, but with a higher salary. Thank you guys so much for everything you do, and I cannot recommend this podcast enough for just clarity, confidence, and the perfect boost you need to use when going into an interview. Thanks again, Eibhan. P.S. I'm very curious as to where you think I'm from based on the message I sent. Ooh, I love this. Okay. Let me think. I'm not getting American because there was no y'alls in there and there was no clues.
I know, but that's exactly what made me think that it might be.
I think his name.
Maybe he's been a little bit tricky.
No.
And he's picked up some of our terminology. I think he deliberately changed it to university instead of college to try and throw us off. Because I think he's like, oh, you're going to think I'm not American because I didn't say y'all. And but he'll be like, oh, but that's not everyone in America. I don't know.
No, I think you're thinking too much into it. I think that his name is giving Scandinavian, Denmark, Norway vibes, of pure vibes.
Ooh.
I don't actually know the origin of the name, but just pure vibes. And look, green flags. I love that he said, love you to his brother. Green flag. You're a good sibling. So sweet.
I know. That's what I thought too. And that's very I don't know if I would say British or English off the basis of that. That's giving very much not that kind of English culture of being love you. I don't know. We're generalizing here, but he asked us to guess and we don't have a whole lot to go off.
Let me just do one last Google search.
Context clues. Now, I had a little bit of an extra clue because I did see the tiny little version of his profile picture in the DM when he sent this message. But that doesn't really give clues.
Oh, hang on. When I Google the name, it doesn't exist. It thinks I mean Siobhan. Okay. He could be Irish.
Ooh.
Because it says that it's a traditional Irish form of the biblical name Eve.
Eve?
Interesting.
I don't know. That doesn't feel right.
He could be a Guinness drinking friend.
Or Scottish? Yeah.
He didn't say we. He didn't say, I got a wee bit frustrated though.
Oh my God. We're really stereotyping
So you're
now.
not a true Scot.
We're really stereotyping now.
Anyway,
I
let us know, please.
Yes, we would love to know. We have no idea, obviously, and I would love if our listeners have a guess for us as well. But thank you so much for your message, and also shout out to you, and also shout out to Joey. We love Joey as well, and honestly, I love that you got the role, a different role, because it doesn't always work out exactly the way that you thought it would. But if you nail the interview, good things come to you eventually, I think. And felt like one of the girls. Love that. That was my favorite part.
I love it. This podcast is for everyone. Short women and tall men and everyone in between. Now, before we get into this episode, if you need more help than we can fit in a podcast, go check out our website for free templates, coaching services, and our interview academy. This week, we are dedicating our episode to Anna, who sent us this conundrum. She said, "Help me, please. I've just finished an interview with a government department. I used my best bits. I struggled with structuring my answers, which I now need to work on, but I had some great examples and I felt it went well overall. But the big problem is, on my way to this interview, I got a call from the same company telling me I was also shortlisted for another role I applied for with them, and I have a panel interview in 2 weeks for that role too. On the next panel is the same person as the last interview and someone senior from my current employer. This is a nightmare and I don't know what to do to address this. Please, please, please help me." Anna, I can sense your desperation from here. We're here to help you.
Can you, like, the panic and the horror, like, you're thinking as you're reading along, like, okay, another interview, it's the same company. Okay, that's like a problem, but it's not that bad. Yeah, we can deal with that. And like, the same person from the last interview. Okay, a little bit awkward. And then the bombshell of like someone senior from my current employer, I'm going to have to explain to them why I want this new role, and they know where I currently work, and like hope that they maybe don't tell my boss.
Yeah, this is truly harrowing stuff. This is what true nightmares are made of. I'm guessing like the scary part for her is disclosing, because generally you don't really tell your current employer that you're looking, and then you're going to come face to face with them and then see them in the tea room the next day.
Yeah, really tough. And I also, as you were reading it, it also kind of occurred to me like how funny it is that when you apply for 2 different jobs with the same company, you're hoping, oh my gosh, I hope I get this one. Oh, I hope I get that one. Oh my God, I hope I get invited for both. Like you're kind of thinking, oh, I'm going to apply for these roles.
2 chances.
Yeah, like I'm giving myself more chances. You're kind of hoping that you get interviews for all of them. But then it can also be a problem if that does happen. Like, I think it just goes to show, like, sometimes your wish can come true.
And present a whole new host of challenges. Yeah.
Yeah. There's always something. So you've just got to like, there's not one singular answer to all of your issues around the corner.
I've been in this position before where I had 2 interviews for different roles at the same company. And in the first interview, I wasn't sure whether to acknowledge like, well, I have also applied for the other job because I was fairly certain they would be aware, and it felt weird if I wasn't going to address it. But then I didn't want to mention it right away and make it seem like I wasn't invested in this role, because you're kind of doing that fake thing where you're like, this role would be my preference. This one would be my favorite one. And then you say that in the other one too. It's like, actually, I'll take any of them.
And that's part of the challenge here, right? Is that it's not only just the same company, but it's also there's a person on the same panel. And so you can't really get away with being like, oh, well, yeah, I'm keen on this company in general. I have applied for other roles, but this one's my favorite. Because like you've got someone there who's like, that's not what you said last week. So my first thoughts to Anna were, I'm assuming that her current employer is also government, because otherwise the whole kind of someone senior from her current organisation, it just wouldn't make sense if this is government that she's interviewing with. It just makes a whole lot more sense if they are also government, because that's just one of the lovely complications of life in government. And honestly, I don't know where Anna's from, but I think that this tends to be pretty universal in the governments that I've heard of in different countries. I've done coaching sessions with people of all different backgrounds and locations, and it seems to be just like government in general, local government, federal government, whatever it is. They have this whole like structure, transfers, internal stuff. So I'm assuming her current employer is also government. And I'm also assuming that she hasn't told her current employer, her current department or whatever, that she's looking for a new job, or her current boss, I guess. I guess that's where the panic kind of comes from.
Yes. So let's get into advice for Anna, because she's about to crumble. So, firstly, having the same person on the panel as last time shouldn't be your first worry. That's really kind of fairly normal and expected, that if you're applying for multiple jobs in the same company, you might get the same HR person, the same big boss manager on the panel. That's fine. And all our advice stands the way we still say, whether it's multiple round interviews, you go in with your prepared stories. You don't need to change them just because this person's heard them. Like it's business as usual. It's just that when you shake all their hands, you're giving them an extra little smile because you think, oh, I've seen you a week ago.
Yeah. Oh, good to see you again. Yeah. So I think the key part you touched on when you were talking about, when this happened to you, the key thing to be mindful of is why you're applying for this role. Now, there's also a chance in government that they maybe don't even ask you that kind of a question, that they just get into their pre-prepared, set list of questions and they don't give you any kind of an intro thing. But if they did, and you do get some kind of opportunity to talk about why you're interested in this role, you need to make sure that your overall story makes sense for you as a person. Like you can't say, oh, I'm really interested in going down this direction with my career. And then next week I've had a change of heart. Like it's just, you haven't had a career, light bulb or whatever in a week. You need to have your overall story make sense. And people might think, oh, that's really challenging. Like they're quite different. Well, I think if you reflect on why do you want that one and also maybe that one, like what do they have in common? Like what's the commonality of what you're looking to get out of it? Oh, well, I'm looking to get here and I could go this way or I could go that way and that would both help me get to that one spot. Or I'm interested in this in general and these things are both in that realm and I can see myself doing both. Either or kind of thing. Cool, that's awesome. Like you just need to make sure that your story of like, here's who I am, here's where I'm looking to go, here's what I like, this role fits with that for these reasons. And then you can say this role fits with that for these reasons. But the why and what you're looking for should be the same because, again, that should be the truth.
Yeah, definitely. Leveling up your job interview skills is the kind of thing that will pay off for the rest of your career. When you prep properly, it's something you can use over and over and over again. Think promotions, unexpected layoffs, and when you're ready for your next move in a few years.
Enter our course, Interview Academy. It's a clear, easy to follow interview prep structure. Everyone loves the cheat sheet. Filling in each box is super satisfying and helps you focus on the important thinking, not the process. Find out whether it's right for you. interviewboss.com.au/interview-academy. The link will be below.
What about the current employer, senior person? This is terrifying stuff.
Yeah, this is the crux of the issue for me. Like, that's really the one that I was like, oh, I don't like the sound of that. Anna, you're in a bad situation. Now, my advice was I kind of saw her as having three options. The first one is you could get ahead of it and talk to your boss and tell them that you've applied for some other stuff. I think that just covers you off because that way, if you feel like you can do that, your boss isn't going to hear it on the grapevine. It's not going to be a rumor. It's like they're going to hear it from you. If they're going to hear it, it's going to be better coming from you.
Would you just announce it and be like, hey, I just wanted to be transparent that I've applied for this role, end it there? Or would you say, because I noticed that so-and-so is on the panel. Do you disclose that you're only telling them because you're going to get ratted out, or you make it seem like you're just doing the right thing?
No,
okay.
Exactly right. And you'll have to make this decision yourself as to what your relationship is with your boss or whatever. But I don't even think you need to be super specific about like exactly what you've applied for or what interviews you have or whatever, of like, oh, look, it's really early stages, but I just wanted to let you know that occasionally when things come up in other departments that I'm interested in, I am expressing my interest. I'll keep you updated if anything comes of any of those. Just wanted to make sure that you were in the loop and, you know, it doesn't change my commitment to this role, but...
We're skimming over this too much. I would feel like I'm preparing for war to tell my boss that, because are you not disclosing in that moment that you're not happy where you are? And what if your boss is none the wiser that you're like, they think you're happy and everything's live, laugh, love, and then you're like, well, I'm applying, I want out. Isn't that a bit of a scandal?
Yeah, I think this is where the government part comes into it for me, because like it's so common for people to transfer teams, for people to transfer departments. Like that is so common. I don't think it's the same as if you were transferring like full-on companies, like you were going to quit. I don't think it carries the same weight as having that conversation of like, oh, P.S. I might quit soon. I don't think it's really like that.
That makes sense.
Now, obviously, I don't know this exact government department. I don't know the culture of that team. I don't know Anna's boss. I don't know what kind of relationship she has with them, all that kind of stuff. So it's hard for me to say exactly what I would do if that was me, because she has a lot more context, right? So I kind of saw there being two other options. She could drop out of the process, but I figured she probably didn't want to do that because she wants to interview for this role. Well, but like I didn't know whether that second role was like, oh, that was a bit of an outside one and it's like just not worth disrupting what I've got going on, and the other one was my favorite anyway. Like maybe you were like, yeah, cool, like it's not worth it. Like it's too sensitive at the moment. I'm just going to let that interview go. Sorry, I've changed my mind, whatever. It's an option. It's an option. The third option I kind of felt like was show up and hope that the senior person from your current employer doesn't say anything. Like that one I just really...
That is flying a little too close to the sun for my liking.
Right. And even though I think, you know, Anna can choose that for herself, or anyone listening to this can choose this for themselves, I don't think I would be recommending that. Do you know what I mean? Because like there's just so much that can go wrong with that. Like you're leaving a lot up to chance. It depends who this person is. It depends on like in what capacity they are on that panel. Like are they on that panel because of their role in your department, or are they on the panel because of their maybe something that they've got to do with the other department? And so they are trying to keep everything separate in their mind as well. Like that context might play into it a little bit.
And also like how close you are. If this is just like a top executive that probably doesn't know you,
yeah,
maybe they won't even really kind of piece together that it's you. But if this is like kind of a direct report who you have a lot to do with, like that feels more risky. But okay, if you're said executive higher up from her department and you notice her come in and she interviews, are you going back and ratting to your manager friend and being like, oh, guess who was in? Like, what would the odds be that they'll do that? Pretty high, you would have to think.
Like, yeah.
Or the impartiality of governments, how they have to be so transparent and like by the book, would they not?
That's what I mean. The government part is a little bit of a like, you know, I can't get into the head of someone in government because I've never been in that environment. Like I know enough from the outside to think that maybe there is that separation piece. If this was private sector, absolutely they're going straight back to tell the person instantly, like 98% of the time. Like I've seen it happen. Like somebody even just hears from someone at another company of their friend works there and so-and-so's applied, and like that, like rumors spread like absolute wildfire. Like CEOs get on the phone to like their competitor and it's like, hey, have you hired this person? Like it's just rampant. So that's what makes me feel uncomfortable about it, is that you just have no idea. Now, I have a plot twist in this story, and I always love when we get more than just the one question and then we have a lot of assumptions and we give some advice or whatever. I gave Anna some advice, basically what we've kind of talked about here. And then I said to her, if you can give me a bit more information, I might be able to answer some more detailed stuff for you. And she didn't take one of my 3 different options, which I love because I don't know everything. Anna is in her own situation. And I think sometimes it's just validating to be like, okay, there are some ways around this. And then that helps you calm down and you can kind of come up with something on your own based on your own, detailed knowledge. So here is what she said back. She said, "Thank you for the response. I really appreciate it. Update is I spoke with the recruiting manager and expressed my slight concern." I love the slight there.
Ooh,
how good.
Option 4 has entered the chat.
Right. She said she could understand it, but unless the panel member raised it as a conflict of interest, then it is what it is and to not worry about it. I confirmed I don't know the panel member personally, so that's an extra tidbit, right? Just their name, as they're a senior leader at my current place. She also checked with the lead interviewer and she too advised not to worry about it and just to focus on the interview. And she's confirmed, I am indeed government and I'm wanting a permanent place with this other department. But in another twist, I think I've gotten through the first interview as I've moved to the next stage, but I've since personally decided I don't actually want that job. So it's really all about this second interview. So see, that's additional context because it's the other way around. The first interview, forget about it. The second interview is where it's at.
She thought she wanted.
Yeah. And so that kind of changes how you frame your here's what I'm looking for. I would really clarify on that. Now, I know that before I said, oh, you haven't had a full change of heart in a week. Well, maybe she has. Maybe she's got clarity. I don't think it'll be a complete pivot of well, last week I thought I wanted to work in marketing and now I've changed my mind.
You could say, after doing the interview process and learning more about that role, I realised it's not as aligned for me.
And this is where I wanted to go. That's right. Yeah, I knew I wanted to work in this area and I wasn't sure exactly where. I've since realised that it is in blah, blah, blah that I want to focus. And so that's why I'm really excited about this role. And I think that aligns again with that other panel member that's maybe seen you on the other one before, maybe knows that you withdrew from that process or something like that. I think that works really well. We're just going for alignment here. Like we always say, it's not a trick. Nothing is you're trying to say the magic words to get you out of this situation or to help them understand. We're just trying to effectively communicate what your intentions are. You just don't want to confuse them because when an employer or a panel member or, someone involved in recruitment is confused about what it is that you're trying to do or what you want or what your intentions are, they then can't do the next things that they need to do in the process of understanding how does that fit with what they can offer you and is that a good move for them and all these other things. They're just going to be thinking, is she hiding something? Is that true? Or was the other thing she said true? I'm a bit confused about what that means. You're just trying to make it clear. That's all it is.
And I love the built-in reassurance that came from reaching out to the hiring manager, the lead interviewer, even just the reassurance of being don't worry about it. This is government. This happens. Business as usual would have been reassuring and brought down her nerves.
Completely. So what I recommended is that she prep a response to, why do you want to leave this department? Just in case it came up, because that was a separate question that she asked at the end is do I bring it up? Do I say, oh, and the reason I'm leaving? And I was like, no, I don't think so. Because ordinarily that's kind of what we would recommend, get in front of it, the elephant in the room or whatever. But really important caveat that the advice from the people in the process that you're in the company that you're in, always overrides whatever we tell you. That's right. If we say, bring a notebook, you're allowed to. And then they say, don't bring a notebook. Don't worry about what we say. Go with them. Our advice is only in a vacuum with no other information. This is what we generally recommend. If you get more specific advice, go with the more specific advice. Just be careful where you get it from. That's all. If it's, oh, my friend's sister said that she used to blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Does she really know? The lead interviewer, the recruiter, yes, absolutely do what they say. And so they've said it doesn't matter. They've said just treat it like a regular interview. And so I wouldn't change what you're doing just because that person is on the panel. I would treat it like they're not on the panel. I would treat it like they're an executive of a different department that you've never met before. And so you normally wouldn't necessarily be really defensive about, oh, here's why I'm leaving. You would just focus on your story, why you're applying in general, with all those reasons that you would normally share. And sure, have something ready in case they do ask, oh, you're currently at blah, blah, blah. Are you looking to leave there or why or whatever? Sure, you want to have a think about it. You don't want to be caught off guard with nothing to say, but I don't think you need to shove it in straight up front to oh my God, in case they ask or in case they want to know.
Yeah. And like they said, business as usual, the panel member will treat it separately. So Just keep that in mind. Forge ahead.
I mean, wild, right? That you're even asking that of the senior person to know that someone in their organisation might be transferring, but they have to just remain completely impartial and maybe recommend that they get the role in the next place. But again, that's what I mean with government, right? Like people transfer all the time. That's why I think it's not necessarily that groundbreaking to be like, hey, I'm going to chat to my boss and just give them a heads up.
Government really is its own beast.
It is. It is. Now, if you have a dilemma, send it into us. We would love to hear it. And also, I hope that as you listen to these, you're probably not in this exact situation. It's kind of a wild, exact situation to be in. I hope there's not too many of you in it. But I think there are always takeaways. What would your takeaway be, Em, if you were trying to take a general lesson from Anna's situation?
It's never as bad as it seems.
Yeah.
Once the initial panic wears off, it's all good.
Yep. And I kind of like the opposite of that as well. Like it's never as good as it seems either. Because I think there's something comforting in that. It's not like, oh, every good thing comes with a bad thing. Like we're not being negative around here. I just think it's helpful to remember that, oh, my dream job, oh my God, imagine if I got invited for an interview, oh, this. It's very easy to get caught up in the, oh, if only this happened, then all my problems would go away. Well, not necessarily. You know, like your dream job could have horrible parts of it too. Like let's just tone down that, you know, that intimidation, like dreaming factor a little bit, just back to reality a little bit, to be like, there are complications with getting what you want as well. And that's not to ruin, you know, the positives of that. It's just to say like, nothing is perfect. And so don't be intimidated by it.
Yeah, sometimes life hands you an Uno reverse card. Good luck.
Thanks for listening to Interview Boss. If you want to request an episode on your specific conundrum or industry, send us the details. Email us or slide into our Instagram DMs just like Anna did. But if you DM us on Instagram and you're not following, Emma won't be happy and she will judge.
I really will.
We believe in paying it forward, so if we've helped you, spread the word. You know the drill. Follow, review, find us on Instagram or LinkedIn. It all really helps. Or go the old school way and tell someone else about the show. Can you believe we started Interview Boss in 2021?
Not really. It's insane. That's a lot of episodes and a lot of hours of talking.
Oh my gosh, it is. And if you're scrolling through all of our episodes, you might scroll straight past something that you really, really needed.
Yes, we're always getting messages from people asking us to do an episode on something, and I'm like, we already have.
So we've put together playlists to help you find the episodes that are exactly what you need, suited to your situation.
They're all categorized. If you're applying for jobs, we have episodes about resumes, cover letters, job ads. If you've been offered your dream job, we have episodes on resigning, exit interviews, and how to impress at your new company.
And we even have a very special playlist that's very popular for if you have an interview coming up immediately and you need just our most recommended hard-hitting episodes between now and then.
For all our last-minute listeners. It's all there for you. You can browse by category and check out all the playlists at interviewboss.com.au/podcast.